Xi's vow of world dominance by 2049 sends chills through the market. I already saw Saudi Arabia wanting to join BRICS. We see how much of the world GDP comes from BRICS, and it feels like we're beating a dead horse, but people just hear the word BRICS and it just goes in one ear and out the other. How important is it that the United States, as a hegemony, as a conglomerate, as the world dominant superpower, the most military bases all over the world, is finally seeing a challenge to its 200 or 170, 190 something year reign? What is Xi trying to tell the world here?
I'll let you go first, MJ.
I mean, I think he's just kind of, you know, telling the world what we already kind of know, right? Like we're seeing them take over the media industry. I don't care where you live in the US. You're seeing the Asian investors come in with cash, buying houses, buying properties, buying land. I was in Atlanta the yesterday, and my boy was telling me he got into a bidding war um, with a Chinese guy over a piece of land that they were trying to develop, and he lost. You know what I'm saying? So they're coming in, paying cash, overbuying. Even down here in Mexico, they're buying up land as well. They're buying up land. You control the land and you control the resources. That makes you a world power.
Mhm.
And when you put the BRICS, Russia, Brazil, South Africa, and now we have India and Saudi Arabia talking about joining. Those are huge players in the global markets and the global financial scheme of things. And Z is only telling what we're already seeing. In my opinion, I think this is just like one of those deals where he's just putting the rest of the world on notice. Like they're not playing games. We're the only ones playing games for real. Russia ain't playing games. China ain't playing games. These guys are really out here trying to make moves with their own digital currency. They're going to do commerce, and we should really be taking notes, right? They're going to do commerce amongst themselves in their own currency. And guess what? Majority of our products come from China. Majority of everything that we use come from China. The products that we use for our food, chemicals, all that stuff. Start paying attention. Where does it come from? It comes from China. So they could easily just, whenever they feel like, flip the switch and say, now you got to pay me in the yuan. I don't want the US dollar anymore.
China and Taiwan.
Right.
Yeah, facts, and the fact that their dominance in the media. TikTok has grown to probably the biggest platform in the world right now. Like,
More
and
searches are happening on TikTok than Google amongst teenagers and young adults.
TikTok is
Yep.
crazy.
exactly, and the fact is, like, Trump. I remember Trump was saying he wanted to ban TikTok, and he had, how hell bent Trump was against China. So when the deal was made that China would be able to stay in, as a platform in the United States, that's easy infiltration. And then the fact that you got to look at, what I look at too, is the content that blows up on TikTok is very against the United States, and is very, like, a lot of so-called conspiracy stuff and a lot of truth comes out about the United States that the United States citizens are seeing, and they're like, whoa, now mindset wise, mentally, the power of the United States in people's minds is less, and they don't really have faith in their country anymore. And a lot of people are just fed up with the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what happens when you don't do right by people for a long time in your own country. Everybody in the United States is dissatisfied with this country. So even you got some white supremacists mad because they were on Trump's side, and you know what I'm saying, in the election, they feel like the election was rigged, and different things like that. So I think China is just, they're just seizing on their opportunity, and then with their partnerships with Russia, it's just an all around, like, they're just building themselves up. And like you said with the BRICS, adding in Saudi Arabia into the mix, all of the people who potentially was, or all of the people who were scared of the United States at one point, are no longer scared of the United States anymore.
Because they're all on the same team now.
Exactly. They built up like a Power Ranger, big Ranger. You know how
Super
Power
group. They put a super team together. They was like,
Rangers,
all right,
They're like, wait a minute. if we all stand up, we're kind of outnumbering them.
You started the super team, bro.
Yeah, they put
You
up the
started
super
it.
team. Yeah, you started the super team exactly. I will
This
say
is
this
this is
just
3-0 LeBron
uh
right now.
right. I will say this though. China is taking advantage. And if you're paying attention to the markets, I think you should also be taking advantage. On that same note, China coming back online. You know, the commodities industry, mining, precious metals, all of those things are starting to rise in price. So,
Mhm.
man, all of my indicators and tickers and stuff right now that's been coming across my streams have been commodities, man, which means that the indexes are probably going to go down a little bit. So we may see a nice little run because China is about to re-enter the markets again on a heavy basis. You got to remember they still under lockdown from COVID, right?
Mhm.
They still under lockdown from COVID. They still going with the zero COVID policy, which you can say what you want. I don't know how deep y'all go on the Twitter rabbit holes, but I seen some crazy shit going on in China. I'm spraying the whole people down and putting them in cages and just
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
try to I try to think it's Western propaganda, but I've seen some shit that's just
Who knows?
crazy,
I'm not
man.
saying believe it or don't, but I do know that when they announced that they were entering the market and they're getting away from the zero COVID policy, I definitely saw an increase in the markets and the commodities and the futures market. So you have to understand, like as a trader, you got to take advantage of things like that, and find you some good plays in those sectors. In the materials, they're going to be building a lot, infrastructure, stuff like that. So play the game, take advantage of the opportunities that the markets make available to you.
Also the fact that all right, if China has a vast population, over a billion people, so if over a billion people are going to be being locked down again, um, this just puts rise and growth towards the digital economy more because we saw when almost the whole world was on lockdown, crypto and all of the programmers were innovating at a massive rate, like at a fast rate. So there's already many programmers in China going crazy in crypto. There's already many programmers and CEOs in the crypto space, like up top. Many behind the scenes, they got some big time players invested into some of the top cryptos and are backing some of the top cryptos. So yeah, I think this could be a boom for the gaming industry and just overall the digital economy space as well.